Happy Motivation Monday. So I hope everyone had a great weekend. Summer is slowly approaching Oregon, where we are. It seems that the rest of the country has already started, though, and gotten a good jump. Hope that you're all able to stay nice and cool. My name is Tammy Stencil. I work very closely with Dan. Dan is currently traveling with another site, so he asked me to jump in and help him out. And I did see a few new people joining us today. So for those that are new, here's kind of our common layout for what we do. We do a brief review of last week's tip of the week, and then we continue on with new tips of the week, be it retention ideas, important dates, carrier information. We do move on to AHCP Sales Trends and end with the sales techniques, which this week is stages of the sales process, which you should all be practicing. To jump right into it, last week's tip of the week was beginning in July, NatGen's short-term medical policies. National General is going to be automating their short-term medical rewrite process to help out you, the agent, with your clients to ensure longer, application processes for, retention. 3 weeks leading up to the plan termination date, National General will send an eligible customer weekly email notifying the customer that their plan is going to be expiring. If your client has not rewritten already with National General, by the end of the 3rd day leading up to the current policy term date, National General will call them on your behalf if your client still needs coverage. National General will work with your client to submit that application with a new short-term medical coverage. It is up to you. You can work with your clients directly if you prefer, or let National General do the work for you. Either way, all sales and commissions remain with you in your book of business. And the tip of the week this week is a save the date. June 21st on Wednesday, Kyle Gardner, Sales Director with Mutual of Omaha, will be presenting 2 trainings for AHCP, one in the AM. It'll be for the Mutual of Omaha disability product. It's Priority Income Protection Plan. It has a maximum benefit of $4,000 monthly. Only knockout questions are on the health section. There's no rate ups, and it's an e-app, so easy that to quit that you're not going to want to fumble around with paper apps again. It's very simple and streamlined and no hassle. So he'll go over all that product information in the process. And then there's a PM training for the Critical Advantage, Critical Illness, Cancer, Heart, and Stroke training. And that's at 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's a new product that was just released this year. So definitely we would love for you to join us. Watch out for any of our emails from our marketing announcements, or if you'd like, you can just go to the ahcpsales.com/training/ and register on the events calendar that's located there to take advantage of those. You can join us for both if you prefer, or just one or the other. And then we move into the AHCP sales trends. We had an increase due to the last week's sales with short-term medical. NatGen and Golden Rule are the 2 main carriers for those. There was a huge sale in the fixed benefit with VBA, which is General Agent Center, has commonly known as, and NatGen fixed benefit as well. And then there's the increase in accident sales with NatGen as well as General Agent Center. NatGen had a few more sales than General Agent Center, VBA. And there was a decrease in the critical illness sales. Colorado Bankers Life and NatGen were the 2 top carriers for those. Looks like I left off an N on the Gen. Sorry about that. And then there was an increase in dental, National General PPO and Golden Rule. So it looks like, definitely some agents are taking advantage of being able to do some bundling deals there with the NatGen products. So fantastic on that. To jump into the last week's sales for limited benefits, giving a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Catiana Santa Maria for first place. She did fantastic. She had 11 policy sales for the Foundation Health Limited Benefit Plan. And then Robert Swander with General Agent Center VBA Limited Benefit, and Patrick Connor with National General. So good job, guys. And we do shout outs for the short-term medicals. We had Elaine Sacante with the Golden Rule short-term medical plans. William Kelly, that's a newer one for our boards. He did fantastic, and he had sold with a Golden Rule Golden Rule short-term medical. And then Chris Helgerson came in third with he had a split between National General short-term medical as well as the Golden Rule short-term medical. So I think it kind of depended on the plan and the suitability for the client. We're going to jump into the sales techniques, sales process, stages of the sales process. To cover, the different stages of your process. This is going to help overcome any of your objections. It's going to help longer with your retentions, with your clients. It's attention, interest, desire, action. AIDA. It's the original sales training acronym from the late 50s when selling was first treated as a professional discipline and sales training began. AIDA is perhaps more relevant and useful today than it was when first devised because modern theories and distractions can often cause people to lose appreciation for the most basic and obvious features and requirements of successful sales engagement. Simply, when we buy something, we buy according to the stages of a sales process. So when we sell something, we must go through the stages. Something first gets our attention if it's relevant to us and we're interested to learn more or hear more about it. If the product or service then appears to closely match our needs and resources, particularly if it's a special, unique, or rare, we begin to desire it. And then if we are prompted or stimulated to overcome our natural cautions, then we may become motivated to be susceptible to take actions to buy it. Steps you should be taking on each stage is, secure that consumer attention, hold that attention through the interest, arouse desire, create confidence and belief, secure decisions and actions, and create satisfaction. And awareness is, the first and number one. This is the stage when someone finds out about you or your business through either your own research or making marketing efforts, word of mouth, or by being directly referred to you. Getting other person's attention really sets that tone. First impressions count. So smile even if you're on the phone because people can hear that in your voice. Be happy, not annoyingly so, but be natural and honest and professional. If you're not in a good mood to do some smiling, do some paperwork or administration work. Or if you rarely smile, you might need to make a few little changes in your life. Getting attention is more difficult than it used to be because people are less acceptable, have less free time, lots of competition with distractions. So think about it when it's best to call or contact someone. Gimmicks, tricks, crafty techniques don't work because your prospective clients, like the rest of us, get irritated by hundreds of them during the day. If you're calling on the phone or meeting face-to-face, you have about 5 seconds to attract attention, by which time the other person has formed their first impression of you. When you're talking to them, the first few seconds are essential as they listen most then and rapidly decide whether you're worth giving their attention to. Don't waste those precious moments with niceties. Grab the other person's attention immediately. You can't buy what you don't know about. Have good openers to address their problems to begin with, such as, have you ever? Are you noticing? Can you see? Bad openers give them something to object to, demonstrate, some disrespect or bore them to tears. You may begin, some negative things with, I just got one thing you want, or I've just dropped by so you might, or I was only wondering whether you could. You want something that's going to really get them engaged and get their attention. It's generally better to open with something that pulls them towards you rather than something that scares them. Despite the time and pressure, relax and enjoy it. Expect mostly to be told no thanks, but remember that every no you have is closer to the next yes. Secure that customer's attention. You're creating a brand. You want people to know that you are actually knowledgeable in what you're selling. A few good ideas where you will want to maybe advertise yourself is getting started with social media. social media is huge. It definitely connects with a lot of millennials and older. Some interesting stats for you. Over 70% of insurance agents use referrals and social medias as a prime avenue for attracting leads from millennials. Yet only 30% of the agents actually engage with clients on social medias, and fewer still use, to generate that referral. You may want to start spending some money on Facebook advertising. Everyone's on Facebook, and it shows their average numbers are astounding. 1.4 billion monthly active users, 968 million daily active users. That's huge. What a better way than, to get yourself out there and get some branding out there of who you are and what you have available. you know, and then definitely you want to write better emails, better subject lines to increase those open rates. Some eye attention grabbers, using something a little bit crafty, something that's going to definitely make them go, oh, what's this? Delivering useful content in the email puts you on their doorstep. But the key to getting in the door is you can't miss, that email in the subject line. The subject line is that first contact. Do a quick search. You'll find unlimited research on how to craft, emails with subject lines in a professional way. Best practice are piling up everywhere, but sometimes you've got to think outside the box to stand out from the competition. Unconventionally, email subject lines can often provide just the right oomph to get you noticed and increase that email open rate. Crafting quality content isn't really easy, so definitely do a little bit of research to see how it might help you. And then also, create a website. It's a most important tool for communication. Have a nice home website for yourself. There's several options out there to help you create a website landing page, a place where your clients can further explore their options of who you are and what you have available. Some place to explain products and services to make your prospects more aware. Remember, most sales occur after the first encounter, so you must make sure you get more than one visit to your site, and very few people will return to your site to just reread your product brochures. Obviously, you still want to tell them about your product, but that should be only a major part of your site, not the only part of your site. You should get an arsenal of news and articles, facts, newsletters, polls, other features that'll keep them coming back. Excuse me. Interest. Interest is the second step of AIDA. Interest is something you have or don't have. It's an action. Truth is, if the customer is not interested, chances are they're not really looking at it or paying attention. Once you have their attention, sustain that attention by going to the other person's interest. How can you create interest? By providing the appropriate information. Well, you must have a good amount of free information that's relevant, consistently updated, exciting, and different. You now have maybe 5 to 15 seconds in which to create that interest. Something, begins to look interesting if it's relevant and potentially have an advantage. This implies a lot. The person you're approaching should have a potential need for your product or service or proposition, something that implies you or somebody has, established that target customer profile. You must approach that other person if it's a suitable time. It has to be convenient. That aspect of having, some accountability for their time, it definitely will make sure that you get a little bit more attention. If they're on the run, you're not going to get the attention you need. You must empathize with empathize with them, and then have understanding of the other person's situation and issues, and be able to express yourself in their terms, talk their language. Identify what the customer's interests are as well. Relate to your customer and identify what their stresses might be. Think of this as a research phase. Your potential prospect is doing their due diligence to research their options. You want to educate them and inform your customers how the product or plans are relevant to them. Customers will pay for your knowledge and expertise. If you're on the phone with them, email them the product information, and brochures if you have it available. Have them go over it with you and get them engaged in the information. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a visual learner. I have to see it in order to understand it and retain it. And then we have desire. Desire is that third step of AIDA. The salesperson needs to be able to identify and agree to the customer situations, needs, priorities, constraints on a personal level through empathetic questioning and interpretation. You must build that rapport and trust and have preparedness in the client's mind to do business with you personally. You want to be able to dispel their feelings of doubt or risk about your own integrity and ability. You must know your competitors' capabilities as well and your client's other options. You must understand your products, specifications, options, features, advantages, and benefits, and particularly all relevance and implications for your prospect. You must be able to present, explain, and convey solutions with credibility and enthusiasm. The key is being able to demonstrate how you and your product will be suitable and reliable and sustainable to match the prospect's needs and identify and agreed with in all constraints. Showing them how what you have to offer will solve some of their problems. Tell them about how other people have similar situations, have approved of the plans, and have acquired it for themselves. Creating desire is part of skill as well as technique and part behavior and style. In modern selling and business, trust and relationship, the you factor are increasingly significant as natural competitive development squeezes that and reduces that opportunity for clear product advantage and uniqueness. Start setting up the closing by asking trial or assumptive closes at several points during your conversation that helps build their desire for the need of the plan, create awareness of the needs of the plan. Would it be nice for you to have the presentation paid for 100%? Do you see how the accident plan could benefit your family? And then we have action. Action is, they're ready to buy. That final step. Action leads the consumer towards taking that action by purchasing that product plan. If the customer is still with you at this point, you have one job left to do, and it is, of course, the most important job, closing that sale. Once you've stirred up enough desire to get that prospect thinking about taking action, it's time to close the deal. When clear opportunities are not acted upon, particularly by the customer, you as the agent must suggest or encourage to move to complete the sale or move to the next stage. Assume that sale, gently moving your customer to the direction of closing. Your call should be something like, okay, Mrs. Smith, the best way to handle this policy is by a monthly bank draft. What is the name of your bank? Oh, B of A? Great. I work with them all the time. Do me a favor and please get your banking information ready. You're gently nudging them to get prepared. The best part of proceeding, the better part of proceeding 3 stages have been conducted. Then the less energy is required for the action stage. In fact, on a few rare occasions, a sale is so well conducted that the customer decides to take all the actions without encouragement at all. This is the magic stage when you take action on their desires and actually buy the plans you discussed or agreed with your sales proposal. The scariest point is where you ask for the sale or ask them if they actually agree to fully work with you. Listen to the signals they're sending as well. Summarize the problem you are solving for them and what you are proposing solves that problem. You move through all of those steps and it should make it clear and easy to close in on that final stage of the taking action and purchasing the policy that you're selling. And that wraps up things for this week's Motivation Monday. If there's any questions on anything from today, or if there's something you want us to cover next Monday, please definitely don't be shy. Reach out. email, at training@ahcpsales.com, or you can always call into the agency service team, give them some feedback, some suggestions at 877-228-8773. If you have any questions, please feel free. I guarantee others will have questions as well. We love for your guys' feedback. If you guys want us to cover anything particular, any products, any sales tips, any ideas, please feel free to go ahead and email us, and we are always paying attention. And that wraps things up for the week. The final quote of the week is, if you always have to put limits, there are only plateaus, and you must not stay there. You must go beyond them. So definitely reach above the stars, and you guys will achieve all your goals. I hope everyone has a great week selling. That wraps everything up. We look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great selling week. Thank you.